Hello everyone, welcome back to Bushes on the Trail, and now it's day 2 of the Virginia Triple Crown. Should be a good hike, so I hope you stick around. Okay, day 2, and we are packed up from the campsite. It rained like, well, let's put it this way, it rained buckets without using a bunch of swear words. It came down like somebody turned on a hard shower last night and let it rain all night long. I think it stopped probably maybe 4 o'clock this morning. And here's the campsite, the Johns Creek Shelter, I think it is, or John Spring Shelter. Have to look it up. But there's really no creek or spring with any water here. No water. Has a actual shelter, a couple campsites. There was, last night, probably 8 people in the shelter, and half dozen of us tenting out down in that area. Okay. On our way to McAfee Knob, quarter mile away from the shelter, all been uphill. We're gonna stop at the next shelter, the Catawba Shelter, or the Catawba Mountain Shelter, and get some water. The creek there reportedly is running decent, so hopefully there's some water there. It's gonna be a rough climb. Now this trail, you will see off in the distance some day hikers. Should be pretty crowded trail. Weather's supposed to be a little better today than it was yesterday, so I expect to see more people from here to at least McAfee Knob. Now, as we head toward Tinker Cliffs later in the day, later this afternoon, I guess, then I would think some of the crowds will clear out between McAfee Knob and Tinker's Cliffs. There's an actual called the Andy Lane Trail, which will go to Tinker's from a parking lot. So a lot of people don't take the actual AT from McAfee Knob and over to Tinker, which is another 5 to 6 mile hike. All right, about 6/10 of a way in from the, 6/10 of a mile in from the Johns Creek or Johns Stream Shelter. You see that view? Very nice view. Terrain's still rocky. Still seeing a few day hikers come through. More and more every few minutes. They pass us up pretty quick. They're not carrying nearly the weight on their backs, so. But so far, so good. Really nice hike. All right, and taking a little side trail back to a rock overlook up at all these blooming, I assume rhododendron. Pretty high up, but very pretty up there. .2 miles from camp. The AT goes that way. You'll see a blue blaze here. And this will take you to McAfee Knob. And we're socked in. Good. And socked in. Oops. Duck. Long way down right there. All right, we are wrapping up McAfee Knob and getting ready to head to Tinker Cliffs, and we have to go down the mountain. And there's a ridge line you can't see, but still cloud covered. Hopefully it clears up. We'll walk across the ridge line for about 5 miles, up another mountain to Tinker Cliffs. So this ought to be fun. All right, immediately past McAfee Knob, you go through really tight forest. And down here there'll be some rock formations shortly. First, I believe, mile or so is downhill. And right there is a deer. Try to. We're gonna go by real slow. Take your time.
Hi there, Daddy. Are you hungry?
That's amazing. Not afraid of anybody.
Well, afternoon.
Well, he knows we're not after him, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, part of the AT we haven't been on before. We're heading north towards Tinker Cliffs, and pretty narrow so far, past the shelter and campsite up there. It's pretty flat, some switchbacks downhill, but only problem going downhill, well, there's some more ups, and there's going to be a big up coming later in the day to Tinker Cliffs. So we've been warned about it. It's supposed to be a pretty daunting climb, so we'll see how it goes. Interesting little rock feature. This portion, the ranger told us that we would cruise here for the next few miles, and pretty much have been. Pretty tame version of the AT at this point, but it'll show its ugly teeth here soon, I'm sure. And once you hit this rock formation, you're over 6 miles in to the entire hike for the day. Pretty cool. Oh, nice views of the valley. Just to let you see what we're about to climb up. That's why I came over there to get pictures. I don't want to slide down that. And check out the views.
Oh, wow.
The reservoir. The mountains. Phenomenal. And then
Rocks.
a rock scramble. Actually the side of a mountain scramble. Oh dear Lord. Okay, we're up and through that portion, and the bark was a little worse than the bite. We got up it pretty decent. Just gotta watch your footing, and need to use your hands, use them. That would be tough if it's wet, but there was enough foothold to make our way up. Views were outstanding. so far from McAfee Knob to Tinker Cliffs is a really nice hike. You're gonna have to camp out to do this one most likely, or plan on a extremely long day. But so far so good. Now we do have a killer upcoming, so there won't be much recording on that one, I'm guessing. So we'll see what happens. All right, we're on the downhill of our last PUD, pointless up and downs, but some decent little views out to the side of the mountains off in the distance. Interesting rock formations like this. Pretty good hike so far, but one of the harder climbs is still yet to come, and it'll be our last hard climb of the trip. Everything tomorrow should be pretty much downhill except for a couple smaller ups, but nothing like we're about to hit, so we'll see. Oh, there you go. All right, and we are down over the last PUD, and the up is coming. And we're Richard, the 2002 thru hiker who brought us here and dropped us off at Dragon's Tooth several miles back. Said, once you get here, put your head down and go, don't stop. So we'll see you on the flip side, hopefully. Not at the top yet, but approaching it. There's McAfee Knob. Right there. Yep, we came all along through there.
Roanoke is like there.
So welcome to Tinker Cliffs. That's a climb. Very windy. And this is not ending. Wow. Okay. Some of the hardest climbs to bring the best views. Wow. It's crazy. Okay, Christy and I can actually say we prefer Tinker over McAfee Knob. McAfee Knob has that iconic view, iconic picture hanging off the ledge. But man, the views over from Tinker Cliffs, oh man, beautiful. And they're still coming as we're heading to camp. We've got a couple miles to get to camp. And wow, this has been well worth the hike thus far. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. double blaze, turning right. All right, we are motoring down the mountain. Not as fast as a couple of through hikers who practically ran down, but we are moving a lot better than we were on the way up. Fairly smooth. Certain places a little steep on the way down, but pretty sort of rolling, gradual. Sometimes steep and then it levels off for a second and then steepens up again. But a pleasant walk in the woods right now. Heading down to Lambert's campground, and here's a sign. Let's see what this says. Probably gives the distance to Tinker. Yeah, half mile to Tinker. Tinker Loop 4.9. Probably another mile or so to the shelter. We're going north. Scorched Earth Gap shelter is to the right. The Andy Lane Trail to the left, and that's the way you can do a day hike of Tinker Cliffs. Okay, here's the shelter, and the campsite is on past down the AT a little ways. Hopefully there's some sights. It's pushing 20 after 5 in the evening, and going to be close to a well over a 10.5 mile day. So pushing 11 miles for day 2. Actually, this was a lot easier, or not a lot easier, but still tough, but easier than the actual Dragon's Tooth to the Johns Creek Shelter. So, and yeah, here we are coming down the campsite. It looks like there's some people already there. All right, here's the campsite. A lot of people setting up tents in the campsite, getting water. About 11 mile day, pretty good day. Day 2 of our northbound section hike took us from John Springs Shelter to Lambert's Meadow campsite. And along the way we visited the other 2 jewels of the Virginia Triple Crown, McAfee Knob and Tinker Cliffs. Our first stop was McAfee Knob, one of the most photographed locations on the Appalachian Trail. The iconic rock overhang is located near the summit of Catawba Mountain at 3,197 feet in elevation, boasting stunning 270-degree panoramic views of the Catawba Valley. A parking lot, which sits directly on the Appalachian Trail roughly 4 miles from McAfee Knob, makes this a fairly accessible, moderately strenuous day hike, and is extremely popular as a sunrise destination. The 5+ miles of trail between McAfee Knob and Tinker Cliffs allow the traveler to experience multiple types of terrain, including narrow forest trails, smooth, winding open footpaths, steep rock scrambles, and a few stunning views. The final jewel of the Triple Crown is Tinker Cliffs, and although the elevation of 2,975 feet is slightly lower than McAfee Knob, the views are arguably more stunning. For about a quarter mile or so, you will be greeted with multiple awe-inspiring westerly facing views as the Appalachian Trail skirts and passes over the rock outcroppings of the cliffs. Just like the other two jewels of the Triple Crown, Tinker Cliffs can also be enjoyed as a day hike. The popular 7.5 mile strenuous out and back hike begins at the Andy Lane trailhead. Both of these amazing spots along this epic 11-mile trek of the Appalachian Trail make this segment of our 3-day journey a highly recommended little walk in the woods. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to give us that thumbs up. It really helps us out here on the channel. Also, don't forget that you can follow us at Bushes on the Trail on Facebook and on Instagram. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of our other walks in the woods. Thanks for watching.